be talking about social, mobile, and local marketing. So to start out with a little bit of a discussion, so a little bit about Facebook and kind of the branding that they have, and then also building a micro brand. So at the start of chapter 7 on page 429, it goes into Facebook ads and then micro branding. So essentially just those brands that you only kind of see on Facebook and social media websites. So one of the examples that they use is MVMT, which is a watch company. So to kind of go off of that, so have you ever made a purchase based on something you have read or seen on Facebook? What was the product, and then what made you interested? So a lot of times these micro brands, such as like an MVMT, they will start popping up on your Facebook. Feed based on if you like certain pages, or if you're within a certain kind of age range, different things associated with that, and kind of figure out, is this a market that we're trying to tap into? So I actually did purchase something just through like a Facebook or like an ad that I saw on Facebook. It was something called Miles Apparel. Maybe some of you have seen it. So I'm a pretty active individual. I saw, or I had liked a couple of different Facebook pages, such as like golf Facebook pages, bicycle Facebook pages, different things like that to kind of I guess show that I am an active individual. I'm outside a lot, and then I started seeing more and more of these pop-ups for Miles Apparel, which is kind of like an active type of lifestyle. They have different types of athletic gear, such as shorts, sweatshirts. Shirts, different things like that that are a little more geared towards like working out and that sort of thing. So ended up checking out their website. They're based out of San Francisco, kind of a startup company, a micro brand, and I really kind of was impressed by their website and ended up purchasing a pair of shorts. And their shorts were super comfortable. They had a little bit of stretch to them. They were kind of casual, but at the same time they were athletic. I could kind of wear them in different situations. They're actually called the everyday short, just because you can kind of wear them with a t-shirt. You can wear them with like a polo or different things like that. So ended up buying it from at that point, and then I ended up making more purchases through Miles Apparel. So that was kind of a I guess a good story about like micro branding through Facebook, and just kind of how it got introduced to that brand just from Facebook. And I'm sure there's many other examples of that, and probably some of you have examples of that as well. So with social, mobile, and local marketing, this is kind of a new age of marketing. So some of the new marketing concepts, conversations and engagement. That's a much bigger thing that's happening out there. Thanks to social and mobile and local marketing, for that matter. So with social media, a lot of people can go out there, they can comment on like somebody's social media page and say, hey, I love your product, and then that company can reply right away, hey, thank you so much, what do you think about the product, what do you like about it most? If you're interested in that product, maybe you'd be interested in this new product, and that's just creating that engagement, and hopefully creating some sort of loyalty, out of that customer, for the long term. So, impact of smartphones and tablets have had a huge role into that, just because like a smartphone, you can take that anywhere, so you can get constant updates, about it. You don't have to be tied just to your personal PC, and check it, once every day, where most people are getting the updates on their phone constantly, and then that way they can interact with brands all the time. Social, mobile, local nexus. So this is just strong ties between consumer use of social networks, mobile devices, and then also local shopping. So as far as social marketing goes, traditional online marketing goals is to deliver business message to the most consumers. Social marketing goals, this encourage consumers to become fans and engage in inter-conversations. Strengthen brand by increasing share of online conversations. So one of the probably most common things that we see online is a company will post a question of like, what do you think about, like, we'll use Dairy Queen for example. Like, what do you think about the new Blizzard this month? If you like if you really love this Blizzard, let us know. If you'd like to see, a cookie jar Blizzard, or like an Oreo Blizzard, or a brownie Blizzard be the Blizzard of the month, either like, love, or share this photo, whatever it might be. So just encouraging those consumers to become fans of the page. And not just on a Facebook level, maybe like even on like a Twitter level. I know through Twitter, like if you're gonna like retweet, or if you're gonna like a tweet, something like that, you're gonna get entered into like a contest, and that creates that engagement as well. So the most popular sites account for over 90% of all social network visits. So these sites include, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, and also Tumblr. Unique visitor versus engagement. So engagement measures the amount and intensity of user involvement. So Facebook dominates in both measures, just because I think they were kind of the first mover on it. They're kind of that traditional type of website we think about whenever we think about a social media, and then they're also just the way they're designed is just so good for user engagement, just because you can leave those comments, you can see what other people are commenting on. They've got the platform to post different types of pictures, videos, whatever it might be. And then you've got dark social, which is sharing outside of major social networks such as email, IM, text, etc. So that can be kind of hit or miss depending on what kind of organization or company it is. Basic Facebook features. So with that, you've got your news feed, your timeline, or your profile, and then you also have your search. Social density of audience is magnified. So Facebook is the largest repository of deeply personal information. Facebook is geared to maximizing connections between users. So it's amazing how Facebook can link you to whether it be different companies, different people. It's always looking to link you to something, which is kind of like the scary thing behind Facebook, really. So some of the marketing tools that is out there on Facebook. So you've got the reaction buttons if you like something, if you love something. You've got different brand pages for your company. You've got newsfeed, page post ads, hopefully promoting your company. You've got right-hand column sidebar ads, Facebook Live, Facebook Watch if you want to do video ads, mobile ads, Facebook Messenger, Facebook Exchange. So typical Facebook marketing campaign, so that's just to establish Facebook brand page, use comment and feedback tools to develop fan comments, develop a community of users, encourage brand involvement through video, rich media contests, and then use display ads for Facebook pages and social search, and then also display like button liberally. So, I mean, the cool thing about the world we live in today is anybody can have an online presence for free through sites like a Facebook. Now you can buy ads and different things like that, but if you're kind of a local company just kind of getting your start, you can create a Facebook page. A lot of like restaurants in the area, they have Facebook pages that just have like their menu listed on there, and then that way you don't have to create a website, you don't have to create that online presence necessarily. You can just rely on your social media website. I know that's a pretty big thing for like things such as like food trucks, not just here in Springfield, but everywhere here in the United States. Some of the basic metrics for measuring success on Facebook. So, fan acquisition, what are their overall impressions of, a new product or a post, overall engagement. So just, conversation rate, how many conversations that are you having on your posts, amplification, how many people are you being able to reach, what kind of community are you building out there on Facebook, and then, brand strength, and then also sales associated with that. So, Facebook analytic tools. So you've got Facebook page insights, social media management systems, and then you've got analytic providers such as Google Analytics and then Web Trends. So moving on to Twitter marketing. So this is real-time interaction with consumers. Over 335 million active users worldwide, so over 90% access Twitter from mobile devices. I think even going back to when I first had Twitter, I used it a little bit like on my personal computer, but for the most part, it was all online. The app I thought was the best social media app at the time. I still think it's still probably if it's not the best, it's probably within the top 2 or 3 of the ones that's currently out there. But it's great because it is such a real-time thing to where you can go out there, see exactly what's happening in the world, depending on what you're following. Even if you're not following a certain like news organization, you can still kind of figure out what's happening in the world just by people retweeting different ads that are popping up, and whatever is trending at the time. So some basic features with Twitter. So you have tweets, retweets, followers, messages, hashtags, mentions, replies, links, and then you have your Moments tab, and then also your timeline. So one of the cool thing about like hashtags is somebody like Jimmy Fallon with the Tonight Show, how he's able to do hashtags for like one of his bits on the Tonight Show, whereas he'll say tell me the most embarrassing story from your 3rd grade year or whatever, and then use hashtag 3rd grade year, and then people will tweet in accidentally, peed my pants or whatever it might be in the third grade, and then they'll use the hashtag third grade year, and that gets a lot of user engagement with that. So I mean, it's not just for TV shows; it can be for any organization or any company that's trying to develop that kind of long-term relationship with its customers. So some of the marketing tools associated with Twitter. So you have promoted tweets or Twitter promote mode, promoted trends, promoted accounts, amplify, promoted video, Twitter cards, and then mobile ads. That is kind of one of the downsides of Twitter and Facebook, for that matter, is just how much promotions that are out there, and a lot of like bigger companies can just pump a bunch of money into Twitter or into Facebook and kind of get their tweets or their posts near the top of a news feed, where it used to be back in the old days when these sites first came out. It was just kind of like first come first serve. Whatever was the most recent thing, that was the top of your news feed. But now based on the analytics and kind of how much people are paying, you can kind of get to the top of the news feed. So a typical Twitter marketing campaign, that's just follow others relevant to your content and conversation. So experiment with simple promoted tweets in Twitter promote mode. For larger budgets, use promoted trends, and then for retail businesses, local sales, build Twitter cards. I think one of the best, Twitter campaigns out there is Wendy's, and not necessarily because they do so much with like promoted tweets or anything like that. It's just because they have a really witty campaign to where they're constantly kind of like making jokes at like other fast food restaurants or whatever it might be, and then they have a pretty large following to where they are spending a little bit of money on their promoted tweets, but for for the most part, it's just getting a lot of retweets and a lot of promotion just from general users. So measuring Twitter marketing results, so similar to Facebook results, got fan acquisition, engagement, amplification, the overall community, and then brand strength and sales. So the analytic tools involved with that, so you have Twitter's real-time dashboard, Twitter's timeline activity and followers dashboards, and then third-party tools such as TweetDeck, Twitalizer, and then also Backtweets. Pinterest marketing, so this is one of the fastest growing and largest image sharing sites. This enables users to talk about brands using pictures rather than words. Features include pins and repins to boards. You can share things, follow contributors, links to URLs, and then also price displays. Some of the marketing tools with it, so rich pins, promoted pins, or cinematic pins, buyable pins, or shop the look pins. You've got promoted video, add pin it, and follow buttons, pin as display ad, theme-based lifestyle boards, brand pages, URL, link to stores, integration with other social sites, and then network with users and followers and others. So for the most part, I don't do anything with Pinterest. My wife does a little bit. She keeps telling me that I need to get on Pinterest just because cooking is one of my hobbies, so I'm always looking for like cooking videos and different things like that. And she says there's tons of them out there on Pinterest, so maybe that's something that I need to start looking into. So some of the typical Pinterest marketing campaigns, so create a Pinterest brand page and multiply lifestyle theme boards. So this improve quality of photos, use URL links and keywords, utilize Pinterest rich pins and or product pins and pin it buttons, and then integrate with Facebook and Twitter, follow and interact with other pinners and boards, and then measuring Pinterest marketing results, so same dimensions as Facebook and Twitter. Overall, be interested to see kind of what you guys think about Pinterest, to see if it's one of the top kind of marketing campaigns. I think right now I would say Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram, as far as like trying to create a brand. Those are probably maybe the top three that I have in mind. Whenever I'm watching, whether it be like a baseball game or a basketball game, something like that, I don't hear a whole lot of follow us on Pinterest. Maybe it's more for like those kind of specialty kind of like networks, such as like a Food Network or something along those lines that have a little bit more of a campaign out there. But I don't necessarily know if Pinterest is one of the top three that's currently out there. So marketing on other social networks. So we do have Instagram. So that's brand profiles, ad campaigns, display and video. So you can buy buttons and then marquee ads. We've got Snapchat, which is Snapchat Stories, Live Stories, Discover, Snap Ads, sponsored geo filters, and sponsor and lenses. Snapchat is one of those things that I've kind of I saw the start of Snapchat and kind of where it is today. and really had like a pretty good understanding of it, just because it started when I was right in the middle of college, learning about different types of businesses, and then now where I am today, from a kind of a professor's kind of standpoint. So we see they've made some good decisions. I think they could be a better run company. The individual in charge of Snapchat at the time, I think he's kind of an egomaniac, where he says he has a lot of like grand visions and grand ideas, but I think he doesn't really know what he wants to do with the company, and that's kind of the issue with Snapchat. So I know they have done a couple of things as far as user engagement and trying to get different like Snap stories and everything. If you go to like the stories page on it, you can see popular events that's happening right now. I know like a couple weeks ago Kentucky Derby was going on, so obviously they had the stories for that and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of paid ads out there from different things like TMZ and different like news sites, that sort of thing. So they are just starting to generate a little bit of revenue. My one big complaint with Snapchat is just their overall user interface. I don't think it's very user friendly. It's kind of confusing at times, and every time they seem to roll out an update, everybody just kind of seems to hate the update. But I guess that's kind of the story with every social network at this point. And then down here we do have LinkedIn, which we've got company profiles, showcase pages, career page, display ads. You got self-service ads or advertising for partner solutions, sponsored in mail, and then also LinkedIn pulls. LinkedIn, I would say for the most part, this is just kind of be for stay in a kind of organizational standpoint, where you're promoting jobs, you're promoting maybe a little bit about like your brand with it, but a lot of people aren't out there on LinkedIn. It's more of that professional type of website for professionals. So the downside of social marketing, so loss of control, so where ads appear in terms of other content, what people say. So you got post comments, inaccurate or embarrassing material, and then in contrast, TV ads maintain near complete control. So with the TV ad, you know exactly what that commercial might say, whereas online you can get a group of people together who say I didn't like your product because maybe it made me sick or whatever it might be. You get a lot of people kind of jump on that bandwagon, and then it's just kind of a runaway story. Here most recently, one of the big things that kind of came out was like Fairlife and like the Fair Oaks Farm, where Fairlife farms, they had or rather Fair Oaks Farm over in Indiana. It came out that they were abusing the cows, so there was huge marketing kind of backlash from that, and they were kind of just getting slaughtered out there on. And then moving on to mobile marketing. So over 255 million Americans use a mobile device for internet access. Devices used multiply times per day. So by 2021, m-commerce will account for more than 50% of all retail and travel e-commerce. And then some of the challenges associated with that is just mobile search. So motivating consumers to click and then raising fees for each click. So how people actually use mobile devices, average of over 3.5 hours daily on mobile devices. So over 55% goes towards entertainment, such as like a YouTube or watching like on Netflix, different things like that. Over 20% on social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, and then also almost 70% occur in home. So whether it be you're watching it right before bed at night, kind of waiting around. Like in my case, a lot of time I do a lot of things on my phone while I'm waiting on my wife to get ready, if we're getting ready to go out to eat or something like that. Activities are similar to desktop activities. Rapidly growing smartphone m-commerce sales, and then mobile devices currently used more for communicating and entertainment than shopping and buying. I think overall, mobile devices and just mobile commerce is becoming much bigger just because of the convenience factor of it. Everybody carries their mobile phones with them everywhere. It's pretty much everybody's kind of life is on their cell phone. You've got all your contacts there. You've got your social media sites. Maybe you're using like a Google Wallet or an Apple Wallet, or like Apple Pay through it. So then that way you have your wallet with you as well. So if somebody loses their cell phone, it's kind of a big thing in their life. To where if you are carrying it with you, that's why a lot of people are just kind of using it almost for everything. To where a lot of people just aren't using like laptops anymore because they're bigger, they're bulky, and you don't carry them everywhere. So in-app experience and ads. So for mobile use, so smartphone apps, so 70% of total time using mobile apps, over 90% of app time spent on users' top 5 apps, and then users use about 200 or 20 apps per month. And then for app marketing, the most effective are in-app ads, and then placed in most popular ads. These are targeted to immediate activities and interests. So a lot of times with app marketing, you see them a lot of like very popular games, or for very popular games. It seems like we kind of go in these waves of, and initially it was, like Flappy Bird and Angry Birds, different ones like that. I don't even know the kind of popular ones at the time, but it seems like you always kind of see ads for them out there as you're searching through different apps, especially if you get on the App Store. So how to use multi-screen environment changes the marketing funnel. So consumers becoming multi-platform. So this includes desktop, smartphones, tablets, and TV. 90% of multi-device users use multiple devices to complete a specific action. So view ad on TV, search on smartphone, and then purchase on a tablet. Marketing implications, so consistent branding, responsive design, and then increased complexity costs. So we talked about consistent branding, before, just as far as making sure that you have the same ad campaign. Then that way consumers aren't getting confused by that ad campaign. Mobile marketing features. So mobile marketing, almost 70% of all online marketing. Dominant players are Google and Facebook with this. So mobile device features. This includes personal communicator and organizer, screen size and resolution, GPS location. You got web browser apps, ultra portable and personal, multimedia capable, and then also touch haptic technology. So here's just kind of a good breakdown of how much is spent on U.S. Mobile ad spending here in the United States. So you've got 13 billion going towards video. Search is 36.5 billion, which is the largest there. You got display banner, which is 23.3 billion. Messaging at 0.3 billion, and then you've got the other at 3.1 billion. So a lot of money that's going into mobile ads, and it's just going to get bigger as we go. So the growth of local and location-based mobile marketing. So prior to 2005, nearly all local advertising was non-digital. In 2005, Google Maps, this enabled targeting ads to users based on IP address and general geographic location. Smartphones, Google mobile apps since 2017, so enabled targeting ads based on GPS. The big thing with that is, before kind of 2005, 2007, that time frame, didn't have a lot of geolocations like on your cell phone, whereas now pretty much to do anything on your cell phone, any app will ask you are you okay if we use your location or search for your location, whatever it might be, and it kind of started right there in that 2005 to 2007 range. So with location-based mobile marketing, expected to triple over the next 5 years. So 2 types of location-based marketing techniques. You got geo-aware techniques, which identify location of user's device and target ads, recommending actions within reach. And then you got proximity marketing, which identify a perimeter around a location and target ads and recommendations within that perimeter. Identifying locations such as GPS signals, cell tower locations, and then Wi-Fi locations. So just kind of trying to figure out exactly where the individual is at, and then sending those ads that is going to best benefit that customer and that organization for right then and there. So why is local mobile attractive to marketers? So mobile users are more active, ready to purchase than desktop users. And then over 80% of U.S. consumers use mobile devices to search for local products, services. So 50% of smartphone users visit a store within 1 day of the local search, and then 18% of smartphone users make a purchase. One of the big reasons behind that, I think, is if somebody's out searching or out shopping for something, and they see something that catches their eye, they're probably going to stop and just look something up on their phone right then and there, and maybe do a little bit of research and say, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make that purchase right here today. See it a lot in the grocery store, just because you're walking down the aisle, you might see a new cereal that catches your eye, or maybe like a new like energy bar, whatever it might be. Do a quick research, kind of find out the ingredients, kind of see what the energy bar is all about, and figure out, oh yeah, I can go ahead, I'll give this a shot, why not? And then based on that, maybe you become a repeat customer of that. So that's all I've got for chapter 7. We will see you next time in chapter 8.